years, but maybe you don't really need it anymore or it's gotten a bit too expensive. Well, before you just let it expire, let Neighbors Insurance Solutions share with you some alternatives that you haven't considered. Don't throw away something that still may have great value for you. If you want to learn more about what Neighbors Insurance Solutions can do for you, call 256-763-7693. A death benefit could be a life benefit. Learn more at 256-763-7693.
Hello, listeners. I want to tell you a little bit about Minuteman Press and what we have to offer our community. We specialize in paper printing and can help from designing your piece to the finished product. We print media guides for many of the athletic departments at high schools and universities around the area. We typically purchase sponsorships from these schools as well, to try and help them with their fundraising. Once we have reached our new normal, we also print all types of marketing materials for you to hand out either in person, via mail, or at various trade shows and events. At Minuteman Press, we're not just putting ink on paper, we're building relationships.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. Alabama! Your home of the Crimson Tide Sports Network.
Scott Tyson here with your 97.7 ESPN The Zone Sports Minute. Monday night college basketball. Clemson tops North Alabama 81-61. Lions were led by Kevin DeKovach's 12 points. SEC hoops, Tennessee, Georgia, and Missouri all winners Monday night. College football news. For the first time since 2014, the Iron Bowl will be a nighttime kickoff. The 40th edition will kick off at 6:30 p.m. inside Jordan-Hare Stadium. 97.7 ESPN The Zone will be your home for all the action. The Athletic is reporting that Ole Miss has given Lane Kiffin an ultimatum to decide if he will be leading the program before the November 28th Egg Bowl against Mississippi State. Virginia Tech announcing they have hired former Penn State head coach James Franklin. The school set to introduce him Wednesday. Monday Night Football, Dak Prescott throws for 4 touchdowns as the Cowboys top the Raiders 33-16. Download the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app today.
Exceptional outcomes start with exceptional therapists. And that's what you'll find at Johnson & Hayes Physical Therapy. With 7 convenient locations across North Alabama, Johnson & Hayes offers expert care close to home. Our experienced clinicians specialize in everything from orthopedic and neurological rehab to TMJ, pelvic health, and lymphedema therapy. Johnson & Hayes is trusted by physicians and by patients across the region. Visit johnsonandhayes.com and see why outcomes matter at Johnson & Hayes.
Talking ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Joe Hunk. John Abraham. 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Hello and welcome in to another edition of the Blitz. John Abraham, Joe Hunk here with you guys on a Tuesday morning. Appreciate you tuning in, sticking with us here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone or ESPN Winchester. Or if you're one of those cool hip kids, you're probably watching us over on WZZN TV, where you can see us as well. But we are back and ready to roll here on a Tuesday, and you guys are able to join in on the conversation all the way throughout the show. 256-576. 97.7 is the number to get in. And by the sound of it, Joe, your voice is back.
Oh, finally.
Kind of.
I
mean, as much as it can be.
No, it's not 100% back, but we are at about I would say an 85. Hopefully by tonight, it will be 100%. So, or at least 95 before the Havoc Hour. So, no, I absolutely am very much better. And yesterday was a very surprising day, from being able to not take any meds for the first time in about 4 days and just kind of live my life. It was just living life, man.
You were raw dogging it?
Well,
completely raw dogging it?
No, trust me. The ADHD meds are a go-to.
Okay, right. I was just about to say, I was like, man's
nobody in this world wants me without my ADHD meds, okay? I'm telling you. For anybody that has ever questioned it, I get some people never want to take medication. I get that. I literally 20 minutes after I took my very first Adderall pill that I had to take. Yeah, that's it. Just, don't try to rob me. It was 20 minutes later. I already felt every single effect. And my wife didn't believe me. She goes, there's no way. I said, no, I'm very serious right now. I can feel every single thought. It was like Limitless, man. I call it my Limitless pill. I get the Limitless pill. I am good to go. I am all in, good to go.
So I don't know how that would affect me if I took it. Obviously, it's not for everybody, but glad that it works for you, Joseph.
No. Oh, no, trust me. You need me on that pill. You don't just want me on that pill. You need me on that pill.
That's hilarious. Sounds like some other things I need on the pill. Just kidding.
No.
I'm completely just kidding.
No.
But regardless, I do want to hop into some of the interesting stories going into it. Again, just joking. But Lane Kiffin, a lot of news surrounding him as, of course, we see the next new head coach of Virginia Tech. The Hokies grab their guy, and let's just say there might be a little bit more weight to that whole Sandstorm thing that they got before the game. Enter Sandman.
That's South Carolina.
Enter the Sandman. It's the Sandstorm of students jumping around.
You know what? Deion Sanders and that Sandstorm he's got going on over there with that Buffalo running out on the field. No, it's different. It's a totally different
It was always
tradition.
the same thing to me.
No, see, that's
because it's Enter Sandman.
No,
a bunch of kids jumping around. That's a Sandstorm.
Yes, in South Carolina.
Virginia Tech folks also use the same verbiage.
See, now, which one do you think is better? You know my answer, so I don't need to answer the question. But, Sandstorm is good no matter what. If it's 11 o'clock, if it's 2:30 in the afternoon, if it's that 6 o'clock kick, 8 o'clock, whatever it is. First off, no team on the East Coast needs to be kicking off at 8 o'clock. Nobody. I don't care if it's Georgia and Texas. Anyways, the Virginia Tech in the Enter Sandman is okay during the day. But when it's nighttime in Blacksburg,
it's a different level.
That is all different.
It's elite.
That is a different level.
Doesn't matter how
hype.
bad Virginia Tech is, it still means something.
I mean, there are very few pregame intros of any sporting event that I remember as much as I remember the one when ESPN showed the entire entrance and Virginia Tech walking all the way across the practice field and going down into the tunnel and every bit. There is nothing like that.
No,
nothing. And it's I cannot name 4 other stadium intros for a team. I'm talking any sport that rivals that.
I will say the ACC, the lack of the competition gets made up for their entrances. Clemson, Florida State. I mean, a lot of them have some really iconic entrances. Before Virginia Tech, Enter the Sandman, Sandstorm, whichever one you want to look at it, has gotten a little bit more oomph behind it, I would say. And I want your opinions first, Joe, because with all this coaching carousel stuff that's going on, I think this is definitely one of the most notable pickups because James Franklin going back to a school that is, and might actually put them back on the map. It is a huge pickup. And I think for Virginia Tech, this might actually get them to where they need to be within the ACC. This isn't a Bill Belichick going to UNC. This is a college coach through and through going to another college team.
So let me ask you, if I were to say, John, give me a grade of Virginia Tech hiring James Franklin, what would you give it?
I'd say it's a B+. I'd say it's on the precipice of an A.
Why a B+? I'm not questioning. I'm just curious as to why you give it only a B+.
So obviously an A+ would be a guy that is going to take you to a national championship or at least a playoff berth. I'm still skeptical about that with James Franklin. If he goes to a lesser competitive school, obviously he had some success in the SEC with Vanderbilt. He's had some success in the Big Ten, but he's never been able to get to that next level. So that's why I think it's a B+. Also, you're getting him how many years into his head coaching career? I mean, he started at Vanderbilt back in 2011. So you're getting
15 years in.
You're getting a guy that's 15 years in how much is he going to be able to bring to your organization? Did you get him in his prime? Did you just barely miss his prime? And also, how much recruiting is he going to be able to get done at Virginia Tech? I think it's a B+ because you still got a winning coach, but now he needs to kind of figure out the landscape of the ACC instead of course, the SEC and the Big Ten, where a little bit more competitive, but he really wasn't doing much when it came to Vanderbilt. It really just came into that prime whenever he was at Penn State. So it's going to be interesting. That's why I say it's a B+, though. Where are you sitting with it?
I genuinely believe this is an A+ hire. I honestly can look at the state of where Virginia Tech is since Frank Beamer and where the ACC is, because quite frankly, you now have the one or two most polarizing head coaches in college football as your head coach. And especially in ACC, because you now have, it's Dabo is the most polarizing one inside the ACC.
Yeah.
And then James Franklin would probably be underneath him. Now, for totally different reasons. But yes, you have Mario Cristobal, but he isn't that outspoken type guy. The Bill Belichick thing, the only reason we pay attention to it is because of what he's done in New England.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with what he has done in North Carolina or that he's going to give you an interesting clip. Like, let's be honest, since the football season started and they got waxed by TCU, has anybody played any bit of audio of Bill Belichick at one of his press conferences?
No, we didn't even get to get into the story about this UNC team almost beating a Virginia team that right now is on the precipice of the playoffs.
So and you can look at all the ACC coaches, but as far as polarizing and bringing attention to a program, Virginia Tech has not had that. They've had coaches that were supposed to be good coaches and it just did not work out.
Yeah.
But James Franklin is the type of guy that can take a Virginia Tech team and their boosters, that's another issue altogether, and get them to want to put more money into the NIL and be able to recruit top talent to go in. Because let's look at it from the other standpoint. Think about if any other school were to hire a coach that had won 10+ games 6 different times. Like, we're not talking about 9-win seasons like he had at Vanderbilt or what he had in like 2018 with Penn State. I'm talking about 10+ win seasons. The man made it to the semifinals of the college football playoff last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was let go because of Penn State standards. He's not a bad coach. He's not a bad recruiter. He is absolutely a guy that the team will rally around. And this is somebody that could absolutely kill it in the transfer portal. And he can also recruit. But the biggest issue he's going to have, which is what all Virginia teams have, is that they're not surrounded by a lot of talent. Like, you have got to go out the state. Now, do you have a couple guys? Yeah, absolutely. But you don't have this whole flow like you did. That you still will have to go to Ohio. You will still have to go inside Pennsylvania. You will still have to go down south to North Carolina and Georgia and Florida and all those just to try to bring talent to Virginia Tech. But you now have a face of your organization that Virginia Tech truly has not had since Frank Beamer left. This is an amazing hire.
I think it's
I would have done almost anything to have James Franklin as the head coach at Auburn.
No doubt.
I love the guy.
A little bit more life, I would say, than what Mike Norvell, Dabo Sweeney has right now coming in. The question is he going to be able to take full advantage of his first season, try and grab as many players as he can to get this team competitive? Because I could easily see Virginia Tech being at the top because, again, this is not like a Bill Belichick thing where, there's skeptics out there that are thinking, it's going to be hit or miss. This is going to be a good Virginia Tech team if he's able to get in the players that he needs.
Here's the other biggest thing that I think Virginia Tech did that some other schools need to pay attention to. They got James Franklin in the middle of November. He has a month and a half now to recruit this recruiting cycle. Like this is, yes, again, it's Virginia Tech, and I don't even know if they're in like the top 40. Like I'm going through right now and trying to figure out where Virginia Tech's rankings are when it comes to the 24/7 like recruiting polls.
Yeah.
But Virginia Tech itself, yeah, they're not even in the top 100 right now. I don't even. Are they even in the top? Are there 150 teams that they could be with? I mean, how many teams?
According to
they are 124.
Oh wow,
they are 124.
Jeez.
Okay. Yeah, they got to do some work. Do their players even have star ratings?
124?
They have 8 3-stars currently committed to them, which right now one of them is a quarterback out of Louisiana. He's a 3-star. But the majority of their recruits, listen to where they're from. Virginia, North Carolina, Washington, D.C., Virginia. So they're recruiting in-state. James Franklin's going to give them the ability to now recruit out of the state. He's also going to have the ability to also look at these players that are currently on the Penn State team, or not only the Penn State team, but also their commitments, because right now Penn State has 12 commitments. He's going to be able to look at some of those guys, especially you're looking at their number one player right now is a safety that's out of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Their number 2 is an edge rusher out of Pennsylvania. Maybe both of those guys are James Franklin guys. And so they now have the ability to A, be recruited by James Franklin, B, take an official visit to Virginia Tech before the season's over with, because there's 2 weeks left, so they have at least one more home game left. And C, also take another trip to see how James Franklin is doing at Virginia Tech compared to what it was like at Penn State.
Yeah.
If they want to flip. I mean, this was brilliant. If I'm Arkansas, as long as if my coach is not coaching right now, then I'd do that, because you're Arkansas. You need every bit of the help that you can get. Unless it's Brian Kelly, do not do that, because I cannot hear him and I do not want to hear him try to have a hillbilly accent the way he tried to do to have a Cajun accent. Like, this is a tremendous hire.
Yeah, I think it's only up from here. All right. And of course, that recruiting class is going to get better. They average around the 40s to the 50s for the last 5 years. But right now, 119 is the recruiting ranking, which is definitely very intriguing.
I just got a message on X from Garrett that says, I guarantee you that Virginia Tech just got a better head coach than what Penn State will get.
What is Penn State even going to grab? What are they going to get?
I mean, that's what we're talking about with the issue.
And there's a lot of coaches that are getting let go, but one man's trash sometimes isn't another man's treasure. All right. For James Franklin, that is a treasure that you're bringing in to a school that has been gasping for life. And now they might just have that. Another coach that might be on the move, whether Ole Miss fans like to hear it or not, is Lane Kiffin. There's been times where he has seemed like he's going to stay. 2 weeks later, looks like he might be heading to, I don't know, LSU, Florida. Which one do you guys think? I personally think he'd look better in Florida gear. However, right now, I'm thinking he's definitely sliding towards the LSU side of things. And everybody wants to be like, oh, well, hey, they're flying out to Baton Rouge and going to see the university. Who knows? That could have been his daughter. There's perks to being the coach's daughter.
I mean, it may have been his daughter.
It may have been a daughter.
She may be doing a recruiting visit.
With Weeks on the other side, you know? I mean, who's he playing for now? Is he a senior, Joe? What Weeks?
I know one of the Weeks are. They've got multiple brothers. There's 3 brothers. Yeah. One graduated, another one just started, and I want to say the middle one is a senior. I want to say that.
Yeah. Well, either way, there could be some recruiting both ways. Could be, who knows, the family going to check out the university, or she's just going to visit her boyfriend.
Here's the other part of this, okay? And this is
reportedly there have been family members that have gone and checked out Florida as well.
And that's where I was going with this, is that people are making a big deal of which place would be better for Lane Kiffin to go to. I think we need to look at this the other way. Lane Kiffin is going to bring stuff with him. And I don't mean he's going to bring people and his crew and all this. is you're not hiring a head coach to come into LSU and do this the LSU way, or to hire them to come into Florida to do the Florida way.
Yeah.
Lane Kiffin is going to go to wherever Lane Kiffin wants to go to do it the Lane Kiffin way. And it works because it worked in Oxford, Mississippi, which, trust me, that is hard. It is very hard to get football players to want to go to Oxford, Mississippi. Okay? Like, that is a real thing. Lane Kiffin could choose, he could have chose to go to Virginia Tech. And I guarantee you, in 2 seasons, Virginia Tech would be playing in the college football playoff. Like, that's who Lane Kiffin is. It's not about what school would he be lucky to go coach at. It's at what school would be lucky enough that Lane Kiffin will come in with his style and be able to elevate you to that national spotlight.
I see what you're saying. Going to Virginia Tech, I was about to be like, wait. He hasn't gotten to the playoffs yet. But I see what you're saying, because with the bigger playoffs, all he needs to do is win the ACC. Dude. All James Franklin needs to do is win the ACC. And I know I say that lightly, but right now it seems like it is an easier thing to do than maybe the Big 12 or even the Big 10.
Lane Kiffin could go to UAB or Stanford right now as the head coach and get them in the college football playoff.
Just got to be the best.
I mean, that's
Group of 5.
That's the truth.
And Stanford,
that's how good of a coach Lane Kiffin is in 2025. That's how great of a recruiter Lane Kiffin is in 2025. He has the media, the sports media and non-sports media, like putty in his hands right now.
Well, yeah, he's a meme lord.
Every little tweet he sends out is like, is whatever he did the other day about, or just a little while ago about books and all this other stuff. He's literally doing this just to watch you go crazy and trying to read an encryption. Okay. Like, it's not, for the wrestling fans, it's not Bray Wyatt throwing in some little tease 2 years before he actually pays it off and going, you remember back 2 years ago? No, it's not that. Lane Kiffin is like, hey, watch me throw this sucker into the middle of these ants. Watch what they do. Like, it's that. That is what Lane is. He just wants to mess with you.
He wants us to be Nicolas Cage in National Treasure, pretty much.
He literally just wants to watch people go crazy over nothing, and it's enjoyable to him. That's it. But what school is he going to want to go do that at now? Because now, if he goes to LSU, now if he goes to Florida, he's back in the same place that he was at Alabama, at Tennessee, at USC. There are now expectations. Oxford, there were no expectations. None.
Yeah.
Their greatest player of the last 20 years didn't even make it to a national championship for Ole Miss. Like, that's doesn't happen there. They're never in this conversation. So them even being in it is a massive thing for that fan base and that team. And there's a reason why the fans are chanting, we want Lane. We want Lane. You were getting Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin isn't getting another job at a different school.
Yeah. And I feel like we still haven't even seen the peak of Lane Kiffin. He started off at Tennessee as the head coach in 2009. Didn't get too much of an opportunity. Then he went over to USC, had some fun with the Trojans, Florida Atlantic for a few years, and then Ole Miss, of course. A lot of people want him, but who's he going to go to? We'll be talking with you as well as so many guests today, as we have Ike Jones in the next segment coming up, talk a little bit about those Auburn Tigers. Because, of course, basketball team. Yeah, I'm sorry, Joe. I didn't get to talk to you. You were too laser focused in on your prep for tonight as well.
Text message broke?
No, I didn't send you a text.
Cool. Just double checking.
Yeah, we're going to have him, though, from the War Report. He's going to be telling us a little bit about that Auburn basketball team, as they had a very close matchup against the Houston Cougars on the hardwood. And then, of course, Iron Bowl. I wouldn't say it's Iron Bowl week just yet, unlike Steve Moulton, but it pretty much is, as we have one game for Alabama. Don't even really know what Auburn's doing this week. What are they doing, Joe? You're the Auburn fan here. What are they doing?
Which part?
Football. They playing a game?
Well, I mean, they're playing Mercer.
Oh, that's right. They're playing Mercer.
They can put their inter-squad team out there. So it should be able to beat Mercer.
Pretty much is. Well, I don't know. Mercer's a pretty good team. Pretty good FCS. But no, it pretty much is Iron Bowl week. So we will be talking to Ike Jones a little bit more about what that game means and how Auburn can come in and spoil the Tide's season. But that's all coming up as we get throughout this show, presented by Fleming Roofing and Restoration, the guys that you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online at FlemingHSV.com. We'll be right back here on The Blitz and on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, ESPN Winchester, and WZZN TV.
Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. This is The Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. I know your accident is the real thing, and they happen to real people.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. There's a lot of talk right now about bigger, but when you've had a wreck, is bigger better?
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. Do you want to be just a case number?
With offices in Huntsville and Scottsboro, we take the time to help.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
You'll love the expanded wine selection at Liquor Express. From special occasion to everyday table wines, they've got what you need. Meet your friends at the largest tap wall in Alabama with 105 rotating selections. Then take home a growler full of your favorite or choose from our 1,000 canned or bottled beers. Need help stocking your bar or planning your party? Liquor Express has a knowledgeable, professional, in-house staff that can assist you with anything from your bar to the planning of your special event. Visit liquorexpress.net for tasting specials, giveaways, and classes.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement, it's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
97.7 ESPN The Zone and West Point grad Joe Ross of Higher Echelon is giving you 4 chances a day to qualify to win tickets to this year's Army-Navy game. Joe is a former Army football captain, and now Higher Echelon's mission is to optimize organizational performance to meet the rapidly changing, complex requirements of today's business world. We've got an Army-Navy trivia question for you. Get the question right, and you're in for the drawing on November 26th to win tickets to this year's game.
From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopé. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road.
Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Warm as we head into the overnight. Early Wednesday morning, temperatures only dropping into the low 60s across the Tennessee Valley. There is a chance we could see a little bit of rain through the overnight early Wednesday morning. Some of that could linger around as we head into the Wednesday morning commute. Otherwise, a mostly cloudy sky Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 70s, close to 80 degrees.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This is your home for Alabama football.
Jam Miller, the running back, will get the handoff. He'll stay on his feet. He'll turn it up. He'll go down the sideline. 10-5, touchdown, Alabama. Jam Miller, icing on the cake.
This is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
About to get into some Auburn Tigers conversation as the Tigers and Cougars faced off just a few days ago in a little bit of a cat fight.
Oh, wow.
Tigers lose that one, but regardless, they kept it close, and it's pretty impressive against one of the top teams in the country, now sitting at number 2, as, of course, college basketball gets underway, and you guys will be able to catch a lot of basketball here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, so make sure you download the app as well on Apple and Android devices. Still awaiting our friend Ike Jones from the War Report, so we'll hop into the phone lines. We got Kevin on with us. Kevin, how you doing today, sir?
Man, I'm doing all right. How you guys doing?
Doing well, man.
Doing fantastic. My mind's a little jumbled, though, because of all of this stuff where it's like, who's going where, what's going to happen? And then, of course, I got to focus on Alabama, keeping contention within the SEC championship.
Yeah,
and
they should also be good this week.
They should be fine. I know I shouldn't worry that much, but who knows? It's college football.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, it's a rivalry like no other.
No doubt about it, man. What's on your mind?
Man, this Lane Kiffin stuff, man, as far as where he goes and who he should go and all that other stuff, man, I think Kiffin's a very smart coach. And, I do see Kiffin eventually moving on from Ole Miss, whether it's now or later. You look at the opportunities in front of him with LSU and Florida. I say Kiffin's looking at these rosters pretty hot and heavy. Who's he going to have, and who will he inherit? And based off of that, my personal opinion for Kiffin's success, I think it's the Florida offense. That's the school that he should go to. He's going to inherit 2 5-star wide receivers, a pretty solid offensive line. What could Kiffin do with DJ Lagway? Lagway didn't really have that kind of a coach since he's been there. I think Kiffin could do wonders for DJ Lagway. If Lagway decides to leave, does he get in that portal and land him a quarterback, or does the Ole Miss quarterback follow him to Gainesville? And still, I do believe, Dallas Wilson and Brown, those guys are going to want to play for Kiffin. I don't think they go anywhere if Kiffin's the guy. He'll inherit a defense that's, quite frankly, I think Florida's defense is a pretty solid defense, man. I think they're contenders. The record doesn't really show the talent that Florida has right now. If you go back and look at the games, how good the defense played, how closely played Georgia. Look, we have no head coach right now. A lot of injuries. And we gave Ole Miss all they wanted in Ole Miss. It took all 4 quarters for them to put the game away. And there's, a couple of missed calls in that game that could have definitely changed the outcome of the game. But, that went both ways, whether it be that hands to the face on the field goal, but that missed interference call there on 4th down to pretty much seal the game up was huge. But, everybody's talking about how great Ole Miss is, but really if you look at Florida in a down year, almost pulling off an upset in Oxford, like I said, it took 4 quarters for them to pull away from that game and actually create separation to win it. And it was 3-4 minutes left in the game before that game was decided.
Right.
So even on a down year, talent wise, the right coach in Florida is, and I personally think Kiffin will bring that swag and that attitude back to the Swamp that they need. My personal bet is you look at that roster, if you're Kiffin, you got to be licking at your chops just wanting to get your hands on it,
Yeah, well, and for me, there's a lot of things I look at. Now, you mentioned the DJ Lagway part. I also look at the part of if Lane Kiffin does choose to go to Florida, how many other players that said, dude, I love Lane Kiffin, but I'm not going to Ole Miss. How many of those players go, hold up, I'm hopping in the portal. I'd love to go play at Florida. Again, it's still Florida, man. It's, if you love the sunshine and the palm trees and you love the atmosphere that Florida brings, man, that is a destination place that he could be at for 10 years if he wanted to and retire, people still remember him because of FAU and in Florida. And it's not like he still doesn't have connections from his time down there recruiting wise. So, to me, if I'm looking at the two jobs, man, I'd much rather go to Florida than I would LSU, just because of the fact that you have a good portion of the state that still wants you to be successful there. And there's more people than there would be in Louisiana. It's not like Louisiana's small. But for me, you add the Jordan brand into it that has a little bit more swagger with it as well. You're basically getting Nike gear. You're just getting it with the Jordan brand on it, and you're getting the Jordan shoes and all of everything else that goes along with it, which obviously athletes love. Heck, I love them. I've got like 10 pairs. I mean, come on. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot more to it. And to be honest with you, that Lane Kiffin swagger fits Florida more than it does LSU.
I agree. I mean, he reminds me of the old ball coach. You could tell that that's somebody he grew up, wanting to mimic, and I won't say mimic completely, but you could tell there's a lot of influence in what Lane Kiffin does and what Spurrier did, and I think that's something that the Swamp needs back. And again, I'd love to see that man's offense in Florida, and I think that would be, everybody jumps on the whole. Well, you got a good thing going for Ole Miss, but, how far can you really take that year in, year out before, their expectation changes? Well, we keep winning 10 games. Why can't we win a playoff game? And then, the more you do something, the more fans will start expecting it all the time. Just look at Bama fans. They're spoiled.
Very true.
Absolutely is.
Well, I appreciate you guys taking my call. Y'all have a good rest of your day.
Hey, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Good stuff from you, Kevin. Continuing on with the phone lines, we will have Ike Jones in a little bit. We'll take a break and get to him, but we'll get some phone lines in here. Wolverine Dan is on with us. What's up, man?
All right, so here's the deal. I'm traveling to Birmingham with a friend of mine, and he doesn't like Auburn, so I'm going to start that before I take my take. He wants Auburn to lose every game. So,
well, that's great because we're about to be talking to an Auburn guy.
Well, I'm going to be doing my wacky underdog pick, and I wanted to say that first. But
heck yeah.
So here's the deal. Now, Bama should win the game, the Iron Bowl.
Yeah,
period.
They should.
But I'm going to make this pick the week before the Iron Bowl because I feel like there might be something going on here, and it was a lot easier for Bama to play that game if they didn't have 2 losses. So there's a little pressure there. Mm-hmm. And then Daniels, Auburn's quarterback, is also playing pretty good, better than the other quarterbacks they had this year. Third factor, Auburn's not going to make any kind of playoff, let alone any bowl game. So this is their last game of the year, and the seniors, it's a lot bigger than what it needs to be. So what my analogy is this: I'm going to take Auburn, whatever the points are.
Okay.
As an underdog pick, but see what I'm thinking. I'm going to give you a picture. It's like wearing a turtleneck sweater, and you have a boa constrictor for a tie.
Okay.
It's slowly squeezing. Alabama should win this game. There's no doubt.
They should. And Auburn, mind you, Auburn does have something to play for here because if they do win against Mercer and they do win against Alabama, they are eligible for a bowl game.
They are.
Okay, well, I don't even know if that's – if they lose this next game, Auburn, which they probably shouldn't, but if they do, that is going to be their bowl game because they're not going nowhere.
Well, yeah, but they're playing Mercer. I mean, they're 9-1 Mercer, but they're playing Mercer, and then they play Alabama to finish off the year.
All right. Well, all I know is that it's a little tighter than it needs to be.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Of course, and it also being at Jordan-Hare, and also a nighttime game at Jordan-Hare. Right now, the points aren't even that impressive. It's 5.5 points in favor of Alabama.
See, that's what I was looking up right now, and that actually makes me want to take Auburn as well.
Thinking the same thing we're thinking.
Yeah,
that it is a little tighter around the neck. Because and there were some fumbles last week, and they didn't play their best game, Alabama. So
no, they didn't.
But they have everything. With 5 points, they should be able to cover that. They should win the game.
Yeah.
But again, there's just too many. There's a lot of little factors that build up to a bigger problem.
No doubt. So are you going to skip this week? Are you going to skip this week's Wagon Underdog picks, or are you just going to – what are you doing there?
Well, I'm going to let you research it for me. Find anything that's got like a big number. Just go ahead and put it on there.
Okay. All right. I'll put you down for UMass over Ohio then. 33.5 points.
Oh, yeah. I love that one. That'll work.
All right, brother. Good stuff from you.
Well, guys, I hope I didn't make you nervous, but it really is. I'm thinking about it. There's a lot of things going on right now.
No. Trust me, you're not making us nervous. We already kind of looked at this game a little bit more closely. Appreciate you.
Vegas knows too, just 5.5, right?
Yeah, Vegas says 5.5. So I think everybody's feeling a little bit more nervous about this one. But
Gotcha.
you be safe going down to Birmingham, Wolverine.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it, dude.
Good stuff from him. And, yeah, that 33.5 points towards Ohio State, definitely a whack underdog pick. UMass hasn't won a game all season long. So, he said he'll take it. I'll put him down for it. If he wins, I should probably get a little bit of that. I should. But either way, we do need to hop into a break because when we come back, final segment of this first hour, we'll be talking with Ike Jones from the War Report here on the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, ESPN Winchester, and WZZN TV.
Phone lines are open now. 256-576-4977. This is The Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
North Alabama visiting Clemson today as a 24.5-point road underdog, 144.5 the total at Little John Coliseum. College football Saturday, Troy laying 11.5 against Georgia State at home. Southern Miss, a 2.5-point favorite at South Alabama. UAB, a 3-touchdown home dog against South Florida. FIU laying 1.5 at home at Jacksonville State. Alabama takes on FCS Eastern Illinois. Auburn takes on FCS Mercer at Jordan-Hare. Monday Night Football today, Raiders, a 3.5-point home dog against the Cowboys. 49.5 the total at Allegiant Stadium. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
Does it really matter which dealership you buy from? Short answer, yes it does. Hello, I'm Don Wessels for Woody Anderson Ford. Before you buy, take just a minute to check out the dealership itself, because where you buy can make all the difference. Sure, customer reviews tell you what others think, and that's good. But when Ford Motor Company itself recognizes a dealer, that's something special. Woody Anderson Ford has earned Ford's Triple Crown Award, an honor achieved by only the top 1% of Ford dealers in America. It's based on superior customer satisfaction, sales excellence, and exceptional service performance. In other words, the best of the best. So when you're ready for your next car, truck, or SUV, come see how we earned our Triple Crown status. Superior service, sales excellence, over-the-top delivery, that's Woody Anderson Ford. And we hope to see you soon.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at North Alabama Mortgage. Did you know that average home equity is at an all-time high? But so is average consumer debt. Even though rates are higher now, you can use your equity to pay off your high consumer debt, student loans, etc., then refi when the rates drop. Don't put off that new home purchase. When rates drop, prices will go up. Buy now and get the best price and then refi when the rates drop. This is the time to talk to the experts at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit northalabamamortgage.com for more information.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny sky this afternoon. Going to be a fantastic Tuesday. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 70s, dropping into the low 60s as we head into the overnight. Overnight, early Wednesday morning, we could be talking about a little bit of rain. That could have a small impact on the Wednesday morning commute. A mostly cloudy sky Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the upper 70s.
Your Fox 54 weather. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. The Tom Abraham Show. Weekdays beginning at noon on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WZZN TV.
Let's go. I'm on a boat. I'm on a boat. Everybody look at me because I'm sailing on a boat. I'm on a boat. I'm on a boat. Take a good hard look at the boat. I'm on a boat. Take a look at me. Straight floating on.
Sometimes I just want to sit here and listen to this whole song. Is this the censored version? Did you do it yourself?
I can't remember if I did this one myself or if this is the one that they actually released that's censored.
Gotcha.
Because I did this so long ago.
Yeah. I'm wondering how long it goes with censorship. It might not go all the way through. Who knows?
I know it's censored all the way through. Yeah,
right,
everything I put in that system, I know does not have a. That's why I put my name beside it.
Very smart.
That lets me know, hey, this is one of the songs I have paid attention to.
Nobody can blame you for it.
Yeah, nobody can.
We also have a lot of giveaways that we're doing here at 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Of course, we had tickets given out to the Alabama LSU game. Well, now we have tickets for this Navy-Army matchup. West Point grad Joe Ross of Higher Echelon is going to be giving you guys opportunities all throughout the week, up until November 22nd to win these tickets. So the date's coming up, though, where we're making the decision of who wins it. You guys can qualify for it, but you're going to have to get on the phone lines at 256-576-97.7, and we will ask you a question going into the second hour, and you will be able to answer it. If you get it right, you're in the qualification for it. And then we'll throw you guys some love if it gets to the point where you might win it. Who knows? But either way, it's also fight night in Huntsville, of course. And Joe, I'll let you take the rest of it.
Absolutely. As that's going to be happening, you need to be making sure that you continue to pay attention as well as get in, and you could possibly even be winning some tickets as we could continue to talk about that, because look, that's going to be coming up in the next few weeks. And the reason why we talk to you about this is because, John, this is something that I know that it's not something that's talked about on the air a ton, but man, there's so many people that love going and watching these MMA fights.
No doubt about it. It's all going down on November 22nd as well, believe it or not. So it will be next week. And you guys, this weekend, we're going to be getting in a guest that's going to come in studio. He's one of the organizers, and he will let you guys know a little bit more, and we might even do some giveaways on Thursday to where you could win some tickets. It's the Cage Fighting Championships Rise of Champions, and it is coming to the VBC South Hall this upcoming week. And you can get tickets over at Ticketmaster.com, or you can just head on down to the VBC and get them over there as well. But joining us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline is Ike Jones from the War Report to talk a little bit about this Auburn basketball team, as well as some early prep going into the Iron Bowl, because both teams pretty much have weeks off as they face off against FCS opponents. They're getting prepped for the Iron Bowl, of course. Ike, how are you doing today, sir?
Man, I'm not too bad. I'm out here trying to enjoy a week of not feeling like Auburn is definitely going to lose.
It's kind of nice.
Well, come on. I mean, they looked the part against Vanderbilt. It looks like they got something rolling, but it's a little too late at this point. But how much would it mean to Auburn to play spoiler, beat Alabama, and possibly even get a bowl game out of it going into the final weeks of the season?
I mean, at this point in time, you take whatever joys you can have, and that would be a slice of heaven that I think most Auburn fans would welcome the opportunity to potentially win an Iron Bowl, get bowl eligible, and potentially keep Bama out of the playoff. That would be a beautiful trifecta.
No doubt about it.
You say that.
And of course, there is a thing to look forward to on the Plains, and that is some basketball. And all things considered, going into the new season, didn't know how well this Tigers team would be able to play, but they kept it close against one of the top teams in the country. Fell 73-72. Talk about the performance a little bit. What you thought, what you're taking away from it, and what they could possibly improve on before they have to face off against Oregon, Michigan, and obviously tomorrow against Jackson State.
Yeah, listen, when this team is focused on the defensive end, they're good. They had the lapses, I think, in the second half of that game versus Houston. A lot of people will point to the free throw line, and it absolutely was a contributing factor in why Auburn lost that game versus Houston. But if you just don't have the couple of possessions where you lose focus on the defensive end, you still win that game as well, despite the free throw misses. Mm-hmm. They were making Houston earn, and to Houston's credit, take and make a lot of tough twos. But it's the easy twos that they gave up that really lost in that game. And that's the thing that Stephen Pearl is really stressing with his team is like defend. The guys who are going to defend, who are going to check out and get to the boards, those are the guys that are going to play the heavy minutes. He can deal with shooting slumps. He can deal with guys even taking bad shots. He can't deal with defensive lapses and not having physicality on the boards. And they showed that they have the ability to go out there and be physical with a very physical team. That's something I worried about with this team. Loved what I saw as far as the effort is concerned there.
Over the first few games, obviously, we know about Bruce Pearl retiring. Stephen Pearl was given the job. And obviously, the first question is going to be, is this team different now under Stephen Pearl, or is this kind of just keep everything moving the way that his father was?
I mean, honestly, the team doesn't look drastically different as far as what their philosophies are, the mentality that they bring towards games. You heard Stephen Pearl in the post-game presser saying that, he has extreme confidence in this team, and this is a team that he expected to win that Houston game, right? Mm-hmm. It wasn't a team that we're going here, we're just trying to compete. We'll see what we can do. He's a little less, his dad is being rumored to go into politics. He's a little less political than Bruce is when it comes to the answers that he's given. Bruce, hey, just go out here, we try to, Stephen's like, no, moral victories are for losers.
I like that.
We're trying to win every game. I don't care. We're one of the best teams in the country, and we're going to go out here and we're going to prove it. Like, he doesn't care. He's just going to say what it is. And I think that's a very different kind of tone from what you would hear from Bruce Pearl and some of these stuff.
Kalen DeBoer was kind of like that his first season, and then he started getting criticized, and you've kind of seen him now start to go down that middle of the road type coach speak that we always get annoyed by, because it's like, dang it, when they speak their mind, people get upset. Like, I want him to continue speaking his mind.
Yeah.
Like, I want him to be that guy that kind of like Lane Kiffin we've been talking about is, he's going to tell you straight up. Like, I want that in a head coach, and especially not just in the media, but also with me whenever I'm in the locker room. Be straight up with me, man. Let me know what I need to do. Don't bounce around.
Yeah, and I think that the team, I think it's really about the culture that you want to cultivate. Do you have the kind of players? Have you recruited the kind of players who respond to that? Because I think people feel as if, the old school tell it like it is coaches. And this actually extends back over to what you're talking about with football. Those coaches don't work now. It's not that they don't work. You have to find the players that don't have the mentality that says, if you get onto me, then I'm going to fold. Like, no, tell me what it's supposed to be. Tell me what it is. What's my path to more playing time? What do I need to do? If I do all this stuff and I get rewarded properly, then I'm going to continue to trust you with the direction that we're going. There's just too many coaches who are trying to appease people and not just be honest about what it is. And it is a breath of fresh air.
Well, it is, and I know that we've been talking a little bit about basketball, but going over to the football side of things, you told us last week, hey, this may be the plan for Auburn to sit Ashton Daniels for the Mercer game. So, he still has the option to redshirt if he wants to. Yesterday, DJ Durkin kind of confirmed that, saying, hey, Ashton's not going to play. This is the reason. But then he also added in that both Jackson as well as Knight are going to play. What do you look at that being as far as the setup pecking order of who's going to go in and when's the other going to go in?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a difficult thing because to say definitively that both are going to play, it makes me feel as if there's going to be some sort of QB show, because that's the only way you can guarantee it, right? Because there's no guarantee that the starter will play well enough that the backup will have garbage time duty, right? And so if he's projecting that much confidence that we're going to play two quarterbacks because we know we're going to beat the brakes off of Mercer in the first half and the other guys coming in the second half, then I like that. But if he's hinting at we're going to play this guy and then we're going to have this wildcat situation where this other guy's going to come in, I don't like that so much. So I'm hoping that it is the projection of confidence. As far as pecking order is concerned, I would still anticipate it being Deuce Knight unless Deuce is just not picking up the stuff quickly enough and you want to be able to get out to a fast start because Jackson Arnold knows this offense because he ran it before he crashed it into a wall. So we will see, but I would assume that Deuce Knight, projecting out the future of Auburn, you would let him start the game, but that's still just an assumption on my part. Nothing definitive as far as intel.
Well, and that's why I asked you that question, because it would almost seem like it would be Jackson that would get the start, and then you would bring Deuce Knight in so that he's comfortable and not having to go through the opening start and have to put kind of the weight of scoring and getting the lead and all that, because then you're like, well, why is Jackson even going out there if we already have a lead? He doesn't need to work on things. So it was, I'm kind of curious about how that goes with this. But, I know we only have about 45 seconds left because the music is about to hit. Real quick, is there any update on head coaching conversations or anything like that before we let you go? We only got about 40 seconds.
Yeah, Summerall and Durkin, I think, are leading the pack right now, and then maybe you're going to have a little surprise in there from the Missouri head coach Drink in there.
Okay.
Come on, Drink!
No, I wish we had a little bit more time.
Come on, Drink!
Ike Jones from the War Report has been our guest. Ike, we appreciate you as always, brother.
All right. Talk to you guys later.
Talk to you later. Good stuff from him. And that was
so
a little
happy.
Teaser to drop in there.
I love that. I'm happier at the end of the Auburn season
There you go.
than I have been the other 3 years of the other Auburn seasons. Like, it's just so much fun.
Keep up with
is football always this fun?
You can keep up with Ike over on the War Report. Second hour coming up next. See you over there.
Joe Hunk, John Abraham. You can watch the Blitz live now on X at 97.7 ESPN.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead, ran away, and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day, and when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
It's early Black Friday at Woody Anderson Ford, and that means loads of incentives to make owning or leasing an award-winning Ford that much easier. Hello, I'm Don Wessels, and let's talk Ford owner loyalty first. If you currently own a Ford, you'll get a $1,500 bonus on 25 Bronco Sport and 25 Explorer, plus a $1,000 bonus on 25 F-150, no trade-in required. Happen to own a Bronco Sport competitor? you'll get a $2,000 bonus. Same for Conquest Cash on 25 Bronco and Explorer. Plus, get 0% financing for 60 months on select Fords, including 25 F-150, Explorer, Escape, and more. And you'll make no payments for 90 days with approved credit. Woody Anderson Ford also has 0 down leases on our most popular models, and they come with 2 years of premium complimentary maintenance. Hurry though, these early Black Friday offers end November 29th. It's a smart time to buy. Woody Anderson Ford. Hope to see you soon.
I'm here with Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up, now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
talenthvac.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a bag compressor or leaking refrigerant. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256-503-4490. AL certain number 21014.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. It's a daily update on Bama sports, and it's brought to you by Vector Security Champions Lane, the best pregame fan fest in college football. For more information, visit championslane.com. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. On Tuesday's edition of Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR, we'll be joined by the voice of the Crimson Tide, Chris Stewart.
Yeah, drove the ball well, turned it over, pick 6, 87 yards. Something else we hadn't allowed is a long punt return, which put them in field goal range for their initial field goal. Fumble on a punt return hurt you. A missed field goal, short one. They make 3, including one from 52. They force 3 turnovers. We have 2 interceptions in our hands and can't get them picked off. And look, defense was exceptional. So I'm not picking on anybody in any way, just stating fact of things that any one of those go your way and the result is different. But the reality is Oklahoma made enough plays to win. Alabama didn't.
I'll have more in a moment. Tide fans, are you ready for game day in Tuscaloosa? Don't miss the ultimate pregame experience this season at Vector Security Champions Lane. Opening 4 hours before each home game, this fan fest has everything you need to get pumped for kickoff. Located next to the Walk of Champions, you'll enjoy live music, player autographs, the best food trucks from all over Alabama, and ice-cold beer in our Legends Lounge beer garden, where there's never a cover charge. Check out championslane.com each week for the latest updates. Roll Tide! If you missed last night's edition of Crimson Tide Rewind, catch it on demand on the Alabama Insider podcast, as well as a video replay on the CTSN YouTube page. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by Vector Security Champions Lane. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Warm as we head into the overnight. Early Wednesday morning, temperatures only dropping into the low 60s across the Tennessee Valley. There is a chance we could see a little bit of rain through the overnight, early Wednesday morning. Some of that could linger around as we head into the Wednesday morning commute. Otherwise, a mostly cloudy sky Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 70s, close to 80 degrees.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
All right, let's do this. Second hour, final hour, best hour, 97.7 ESPN The Zone, WCCN TV. Oh, yeah. That's where you need to be tonight as the Havoc Hour is back. Over at the Iceplex inside of Zambrewski's, you can make sure that you are there as we go from 6 to 7. Got $1 off beer for that entire. Nope.
Episode 3, season 2, baby.
We are about to change this entire show just because I hate saying from 6 to 7 because I get that reaction. Nobody knows what it means.
It doesn't matter. Now they can just compare it and relate it to the Havoc Hour. A wonderful, wonderful show presented by Minuteman Press. And, of course, always on WZZN TV. And it's ever-changing. So we'll see what type of changes will come to it tonight out at the Huntsville Iceplex. But one thing doesn't change, Joe. That's the show's main sponsor, and of course, that is Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
That's
the guys,
correct.
You need to talk about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online. Fill out that free quote today. You can find them at FlemingHSV.com. And remember that Fleming always shows up. And, of course, with the rain kind of being out of the system for a little bit, this is the best time to get your roof fixed. So knock that out, and then you'll be ready to withstand the elements come, of course, deep winter.
Well, and you also want to make sure that you get that roof fixed, because coming up in probably the next few days, some of you may have already been doing it. You're going to also put Christmas lights up there. And
that is
so
true.
You don't want to put Christmas lights up on a bad roof, then have to take them down so they can get the roof fixed. Trust me, it's a whole hassle.
No doubt about it.
So that was the reason why is going to be kind of a really cool thing for you to go out and go ahead and do that. A lot of things that are going to be happening not only today, but tonight. Yes, you do have the college football selection, top 25, whatever we're calling that BS now.
Does it matter still? Does it matter, Joe?
No, it doesn't really matter. All we know is most likely, I believe, I haven't even seen the promotion for it, but it's probably going to be in between the two tournament of champions or whatever they're calling that crap that happens between Michigan State and Kentucky and Kansas and Duke to try to make you start watching basketball sooner.
Will be on our network tonight.
It absolutely will.
So look forward to that. And I'm already watching basketball, Joe. I am. All right. Alabama's schedule has very much intrigued me to get into the hardwood season a little bit sooner.
Yes, I've watched 2 Auburn games, 2 Bama games.
There you go.
Is what I've watched so far.
Is this more basketball you've watched this early ever?
I'm just casually watching it. Like it's up on, like it'll be up in my office while I'm doing other things. Like it's one of those things, and I'll be keeping up with it. As far as sitting there and analyzing and getting into it, that's not going to happen until much later in the season.
No.
But as far, watching Auburn play Houston, watching Alabama play St. John, playing Purdue, like those have been really kind of fun. And then if you're just a degenerate gambler, there's 3 action games happening tonight, all at 6:00 across all different television networks. If you just, want something football wise to gamble on, there's things like that for you happening. A couple other things, obviously, Les Studeman, congratulations. And I mean, absolutely an amazing thing. If you do not know about that, she was a part of the announcement yesterday, as she will be a member of the 2026 Alabama Sports Hall of Fame class that is going to have a number of notable names that a lot of people around not just the Tennessee Valley, but also North Alabama will and absolutely do know about. In those, yes, the potential future governor of the state of Alabama is going to be on this as well, as Tommy Tuberville is also going to be going in with Les. That's how I'm going to say what it is Tommy is going in with Les, not Les going in with Tommy. Tommy is going in with Les. That's exactly how it is. Evan Mathis is another as well. John Copeland, which we all know that name of. And, of course, also Jason Campbell are all going to be going into the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame ceremony and into the Hall of Fame down in Birmingham when that ceremony takes place next year. So congratulations to her. Also, if you did miss the news yesterday, it is something that we talked about last summer. It's something that got investigated a lot last summer. But the VBC did make the announcement yesterday that next summer of 2026, they will have a $3.3 million renovation project.
Let's freaking go.
That they are going to be doing, and a good portion of that is going to go to the arena and the surface of the arena, which was the only thing that was not changed when the VBC got its last renovation, because it was not needed. And so that is now official. They are going to be doing it. They say it's only supposed to be a 3-month process. They say it's only supposed to be a 3-month process.
See about that.
I have heard that this is a 6-month process. I have heard that this could be a 9-month process. But the VBC is saying that this one in particular is only going to be a 3-month process. I say that because the Iceplex's new arena is supposed to be done also in late 2026. So those may be connected as far as where the Havoc may have to play a couple of games, depending on how long this project goes. I don't know, but the VBC said that they have chosen their slow period of time because in the summer, obviously more concerts are outside and are at amphitheaters like, Orion. And so it's a slower period of time after the basketball that they have the availability that they can do what they need to do. Because what people don't realize is this just isn't, oh, hey, we're putting in a new cooling system. They are going to have to drill down, totally rip out everything that is underneath that concrete, put the new system in, then put the concrete over on top of it or whatever type of concrete they're going to want to use. And that is a very long process.
Yeah.
So that, if you missed it, that came out yesterday as it is going to be part of the deal, which, yes, at some point in time during the Havoc games, we are going to see that spot open up right in front of the Havoc bench. We talked about it last year because of the floor not being 100% flush.
Yeah, and a lot of people have, stated their concerns. There's been a few times where there have been divots within the ice, and obviously bringing in basketball games more frequently, you want to make sure that surface is able to be cooled down.
And that point in the basketball court has also been a problem as well because of freezing, because the ice underneath it, and also because of the condensation and everything.
Exactly.
So it is now to a point where they're like, look, the $3.3 million, which they've had this money for a couple of years now they've made the decision to, okay, let's go ahead and do this.
No doubt.
So that's why that this is going to be happening. And it has been a very, very long discussion between the VBC and the city about that one part in particular.
Well, I'm glad you brought that one up because that's actually more of a big deal for the locals here. Because I thought you were maybe touching on the Antonio Brown situation because that was something that came out last summer. And of course, Antonio Brown may be facing up to 30 years in prison if convicted of attempted murder with a gun. And this is something crazy. And I know it's kind of off topic altogether, but I still feel like this is some big news because we're talking about one of the NFL's best wide receivers. I think I could say that in the last 2 decades, this was one of the top wide receivers. He had multiple 1,000-yard seasons. He led the league in receiving for 2 of those years with 1,698 yards back in 2014. Then he didn't lead the league in 2015, even though he had more yards than he ever had with 1,834. And then in 2017, of course, led the league with 1,533. But this is a horrible, horrible end to a man's career that, it was bastardized with his time at Tampa. But now having this being thrown at him, and I get, his presence online has not been great. It's been actually abysmal. And now it goes down to him trying to shoot somebody at an event, a few months back because he thought somebody was trying to steal from him. In a public place, 2 shots rang off. And I'm just thinking about the downfall of such a great wide receiver and how disappointing it truly is because, if he tried to not be public enemy number 1, where would he be in his career? Where would he be in the NFL standings? Would he be a future Hall of Famer? I think he would be. But now with all of this coming out, I think that is a long shot. No pun intended.
Well, and for me personally, I'm just going, this is all CTE. Like I hate to say that, but I guarantee you that this is all CTE.
Well, can you just throw that at him? Can you throw the CTE problems? I know that he had problems with concussions, but still.
I mean, no, there's a lot of times that you can look at erratic behavior, and obviously we don't have a way right now in society with the way that medicine and everything that's still being developed with CTE, you do not have a way of testing for that before the person passes away, unfortunately. And I think that this is all another one of those that I guarantee when he passes away, I hope it's in 40, 50 years. But when he does, it is going to, you'll find out he has CTE.
No.
I mean, it's way too, there are certain mental things that grow and gradually over time. And then there are certain things that happen instantaneously that you're just going, okay, this was way too much of a flip. Like it's Antonio Brown. Okay. It's a little bit, but at the same time, you're thinking, man, this is way too out there that he has kind of been off on that cliff for a while. And I'm starting to wonder if, okay, this is a little bit too far fetched for normal people.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the reason why it's like, I see it now and it's just sad to me. Like, it's just one of those, I'm just going, I'm not even really worried about I want him to get help more than I want to know that he's out shooting people and doing all this other stuff. Now, possibly in prison, which sadly, this is the way to go. Possibly in prison, this is where you can actually get the help.
Yeah.
Now it's not like a financial reason. It's more of a, hey, this is now part of your sentence that you have to go do. This is what it's part of that. Let me ask you a question, because we just had Ike Jones on just a few moments ago, and he talked about the decision that DJ Durkin made yesterday to talk about the fact that obviously Ashton Daniels is not going to be playing against Mercer on Saturday. But in the same light, he said that, yes, Durkin said that Jackson Arnold as well as Deuce Knight are going to be playing. What is the best strategy for Auburn going into this, as far as how would you split up snaps? Would this be one player gets 100 until then this player gets 100%? Or is it a back and forth, like trying to get work in situations? Or, hey, there's certain plays and certain, playbooks as far as packages that we have for each one?
Well, I understand where, this whole thing is coming from. Jackson Arnold still has 2 to possibly 3 years of eligibility left. Of course, you want to give some time to your brand new quarterback, very shiny quarterback in Deuce Knight. But at the same time, I don't fully understand the situation of completely letting Ashton Daniels take this game off. I think that, yes, he had a really good game against Vanderbilt, but he needs to keep that going. I don't think you take a guy out and stop him from having that progression just because they're playing a Mercer and you don't want him to get hurt. I don't believe that. And I understand, people would say, well, it's Mercer. It's very low chance that he gets hurt. Well, I mean, it happened before.
You talking about Deuce or Jackson?
I'm talking about Ashton Daniels.
Oh, now Ashton Daniels. See,
why wouldn't you let your starting quarterback play in this game?
Because that's where I'm curious with the question.
Yeah.
What if Deuce Knight shows the maturity that we have been waiting to see from him?
Well, do you put him in against Alabama in the biggest game of the season, though?
If he performs well against Mercer?
But Ashton Daniels, though. I mean, his performance against Vanderbilt, I think, is more than enough to put in against Alabama.
His performance against in their last game that he played in, yes, it was a loss to Vandy.
It was.
But he still struggled with the things that he's always struggled with. Is he a great scrambling quarterback? Yes, he can. Can he go ahead and bust off runs that'll get you 30 and 40 yards and he racks up 80, 90 to 100 yards rushing? Yeah, absolutely. But his passing still isn't what it needs to be at the level that you could say, you know what, this is my starter next year. Yeah. I think this is part of what they're looking at right now, regardless as to who it is. Because, by the way, quarterback for Arizona State, stories are coming out right now that he's most likely entering the transfer portal. So there's another quarterback that could be that premier quarterback that a lot of people are paying attention to, that if it's Summerall, if it's DJ Durkin, if it's Drink, whoever it is, would possibly want to bring in their own quarterback. But as far as these two are concerned, I would much rather see if the electricity that Deuce Knight has with this playbook, because supposedly it's all about knowledge of the playbook. If he can perform it and he knows the playbook, I don't know why you don't go with him.
No.
Because if he gives you the best X factor to make sure that Cam Coleman is getting the football, that Eric Singleton is getting the football, not just getting it in stride. That's the key to this. You want to know the difference between a college football quarterback and an NFL quarterback? In stride. There is a massive difference in being able to get it where your wide receiver can make the catch and just get down, and get it to where your wide receiver can make the catch in stride and be able to add 20 yards to it because he didn't have to slow down.
Yeah.
That's a massive difference between college football and the NFL. Ashton Daniels gets it there. Who is going to get it to him in stride? That's what I want.
Also, just got a caller who got in on the show, and he brought to my attention that Ashton Daniels has only played in 3 games so far.
Yes.
This will preserve a red shirt moving forward.
Yeah, that's the whole purpose.
So that is the biggest thing about it. So, understandably so. Now, again, you gotta worry about the red shirts.
Oh, yeah. Did you not say that? Did you not say?
No,
Okay, yeah.
did not.
No, that was the whole point of DJ Durkin making this announcement yesterday, is because he said, "Look, Ashton, we want to preserve and give Ashton the option to redshirt." Now, here's the other kicker. If Ashton Daniels gets you to a bowl game because Auburn beats Mercer and Alabama, then he has a decision.
Oh,
because then he can't play in the bowl game.
At that point in the bowl game, you will see Deuce Knight. If they get to that point. It's a similar situation with like Nico Iamaleava back with Tennessee. In that bowl game, yes, it's huge that you actually make it there. It'd be the biggest thing that Auburn could do this season. Obviously, if they beat Alabama as well as take care of Mercer, they'd have the 6 wins. But at that point, there's no need to even put in Ashton Daniels. You guys got to the point you needed to. He did his job. Now it's time to see what Deuce Knight's got to offer. Ashton Daniels might transfer, might try and find a new school before he calls it a college career. But I don't see the next coach who comes in to Auburn, whether that is Durkin, whether it's somebody else, continuing with the QBs that we've seen this season in the form of Jackson Arnold and Ashton Daniels. I think they're both going to be gone at the end of this season. A little less on the Jackson Arnold. He might stay and be a second stringer.
Oh, no, I'm not even letting him turn the paper in.
You're not letting him do
No,
that?
absolutely not.
I understand why.
No, there's no chance on. I don't even want him in the locker room now. Like good. Hey, go out there, take your helmet, warm up. That's good. I don't even want you stepping on the football field. Like, I just don't.
Well, then he's going to probably have to take a pay cut and have to go to like a Texas State or something like that.
At this point in time, just put me a wide receiver back there that's not playing and let him run a wildcat for the entire game if Deuce Knight gets taken out. I don't care. Do not let that man. I don't even want him looking at the field. In fact, make it like he is a horse in the Kentucky Derby. Put blinders on him, but just instead of blocking the side of his eyes, block all of his eyes. Just make him just where he cannot see,
completely
and
blind.
there is nothing that he can screw up. That's what I want. I don't care.
Well, there's going to be a lot to screw up in the college football playoff committee's picks tonight, and it's going to be interesting. We talked with an ACC guest yesterday, and Stephen Weber. He's with Miami and On3. But today, we're going to be talking a little bit more with the Big 12 or the Big 10. And it's going to be Sam Webb. He's with Michigan Insider, and he's going to be breaking down a little bit of what the Michigan Wolverines need to do to finish out the season, find themselves in the postseason, as well as what the Big 10 is shaping up to be. Will we get 2? Will we get 3? Could we get 4 Big 10 teams? We're going to find that out on the other side with Sam Webb from Michigan Insider here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is The Blitz with Joe Hunk and John Abraham. 256-576-4977.
Your customers deserve the best, and so do you. You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loader from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best. And this machine has it all, with features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Best of all, now Thompson Tractor is making that investment even better with our Workhorse Special. Get 0% financing for 36 months on the purchase of a new Cat 255 compact track loader that comes with a 3-year warranty. You also get a 74-inch bucket and 1,000-hour filter kit. Great news. This offer is now extended through the end of December. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
Need tough equipment you can count on? Christopher Equipment has you covered. Whether it's air compressors, trenchers, bucket lifts, concrete tools, generators, skid steers, and more. Serving you with locations in Tullahoma, Shelbyville, Manchester, Fayetteville, and Hazel Green. Christopher Equipment. From job site to backyard, rent or buy, Christopher Equipment delivers the tools you need when you need them. Call 931-455-3900 or visit christopher.equipment today. Christopher Equipment, powering your project.
Huntsville, get ready because Fight Night's coming your way November 22nd from the VBC South Hall with the CFC Rise of Champions. 16 blood-pumping matches, 5 featured title fights, and the most explosive MMA action in the Southeast. Get your crew together and reserve your VIP table or snag tickets at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss out on the action. November 22nd, it's the Cage Fight Championships Fight of Champions.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Don't you wish that you had some secrets to help you get an edge on your business competition? Wouldn't it be great if someone could solve challenges at your company that you don't have the time or expertise to fix on your own? You know, there is a solution. Higher Echelon is a world-class consulting firm based in Huntsville that trains employees in sports psychology secrets to drastically improve work performance. Founder Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets and has put that experience to good use. Higher Echelon helps organizations shave hundreds of hours off work time by improving processes, and Higher Echelon helps organizations save and make more money by walking them through technology updates and implementations. You don't have to go it alone, and you don't have to stay stuck. Higher Echelon is a trusted partner in organizational excellence. Go to higherechelon.com. That's HIGHERECHELON.com today to take your company to the next level. Go higher and go Army.
Talking Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN and the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app.
So like relax, I'm spilling these raps long as you feel them. To the day that I drop, you'll never say that I'm not killing them. Cause when I am not, then I'ma stop killing them. And I am not hip-hop, and I'm just not Eminem. Subliminal.
We have a ton of youth sports that are kind of happening around the Tennessee Valley right now. Matter of fact, over the weekend, I was over in Buckhorn for their wrestling tournament that they had going on for, youth. 8 under.
Youth, 10,
10 under, 12 under. Yeah, my son was 2 and out on that. But hey, it was his very first one. And I felt bad too because his first match, they moved him up 4 time slots because the person didn't show up that was supposed to face the original opponent.
I call that a win.
So no, he didn't advance. They started going over the PA. Honkapillar to 202, Honkapillar to 202. And so we're on the other opposite side of the arena.
Hilarious.
That was what happened on ours. But I was saying this because a lot of high schools are adding wrestling to their programs. Hazel Green is one of those that have, and we always practice right after the high school. They have a player on their team that is in 8th grade. Mm-hmm. His name is Gavin. He's at Meridianville Middle School. He wrestled in the Columbia STS tournament. That happened over on Saturday.
Yep.
Beat an 11th grader. And he's in 8th grade. So great job by you, Gavin, doing that. More people, obviously, wrestling's growing is a really fun and interesting sport that helps you with a lot of other sports.
Yeah.
So just know that it's one that I promise you is going to keep you in shape.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You're already getting your blood pumping with some fighting action. While
you haven't seen the pictures of the way I act on Saturday. I was only healthy for an hour on Saturday before I got sick again. It was during that tournament. Wait, I'll have my wife send you the pictures.
I got you.
Send me the pictures.
You're just getting yourself ready for this weekend.
That's exactly what I'm
Of course,
doing.
the CFC Championship Fight of Champions is going to be going down at the VBC. Make sure you guys reserve your tickets and stay tuned with the Blitz because we'll be having a special guest coming in on Thursday and possibly giving you guys a chance to win some tickets as well. But joining us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline is another special guest. From up north, it is Sam Webb, host of Michigan Insider on WTKA, and he joins us now. Sam, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
We are doing
awesome, man.
Wonderful. And look, we're talking a lot of the coaching movements. Obviously, former Penn State coach James Franklin gets hired over there at Virginia Tech, so that's an intriguing thing that connects the Big Ten with the ACC. But of course, right now you're thinking about the postseason. You're with this Michigan Wolverine squad that right now, if you look on ESPN's little, playoff predictor, that they're putting down Michigan has an 8% chance, but believe it or not, they actually have a better chance just if they deal with their schedule. If they take care of what's in front of us in the form of Maryland and Ohio State, then that'd pretty much get them into the postseason. But of course, it's going to take a lot of work. What do you think needs to happen for that to come into fruition, Sam?
I think that nails it. Take care of what's in front of you, which is don't stumble at Maryland by looking past them.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're, the difficult pre-Ohio State game was the one that they just played against Northwestern. That was the team that had been playing really, really well. They are well coached. Maryland is not playing very well, and I don't think they're well coached. So if you lose that one, it's because you really just fell flat on your face and you were looking past them to Ohio State. So I think Michigan needs to take care of business, learn from their mistakes in the Northwestern game, and then take care of business against Ohio State like they have the last 4 years. This is an Ohio State team that I think won't make the same mistake that they made last year and thinking that it's a foregone conclusion that they will win it. And yet I don't think that it means that they will win it. Michigan will still have a chance, but it's going to take more than it took them last year to get it done.
Yeah. And for Ohio State, of course, whether they win or lose this game against Michigan, they still have a 99% chance to get into the postseason, whether they're playing in that conference game or not, which they probably would still be. But Sam, talk a little bit about it, man. I mean, we brought up the ACC yesterday, how many teams could possibly get in. There's a chance that there's one or two. But for the Big Ten, we got a lot of fans around this area, a lot of Michigan fans, a lot of Big Ten fans that want to know how many teams could possibly slide themselves into this playoff picture. And then could it just be an SEC versus Big Ten matchup all the way until the end?
Well, I think Indiana's a lock. I think that Ohio State is pretty entrenched as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of who else. I mean, is Oregon, what does Oregon do down the stretch? I think they have a pretty strong case, but they're vulnerable. I mean, I think USC is still a major threat. And, of course, Michigan. Look, there's no world in which a Michigan that beats an Ohio State, the number one team, would be the best win in the country.
Yeah.
Now, odds are, you look at all the tiebreakers, and we've done this, odds are that they probably still would make the Big Ten championship game. So it really would be the strength of that Ohio State game that would have to get them in. But I can't imagine a college football reality where they keep a Michigan team that beat Ohio State out of the college football playoff. I mean, the networks wouldn't let that happen.
No,
I agree. The money people would come in and disallow that, right?
Yeah.
So, Michigan would absolutely get in that scenario. And then I think either USC or Oregon, whichever of those teams prevails. So 3, I think, is a pretty safe bet. is a possibility, but I think you're probably saying 50-50 at best. I feel pretty good about 3. 4, I'm not feeling too confident about it, but I think there's a chance.
Yeah, and of course, the 2 losses that Michigan has against a really good Oklahoma team that Alabama found out about this past week, on top of that USC team that's been very competitive this season. But for Michigan to win against Ohio State and, of course, win against Maryland, they're going to need to see a little bit more out of their young quarterback, Bryce Underwood. Talk a little bit about how you've seen him progress throughout this season. Do you think he's where he needs to be, or is there a lot more growth that's going to need to come with him throughout the next few years?
Well, yeah, I don't think there's any question. I think there's definitely a lot more growth that has to come over the next few years, but I think he's playing his true freshman. He looks like a true freshman.
Yeah.
I think that the mistake is believing that because he's immensely talented, and I think people look at the compensation and they assume that the immense talent and the immense pay means that he's going to skip steps. And we see that that's just not the case, especially when it's not like the talent around him on offense was just super. I think that Michigan at the skill position, their best skill position talent was young. For instance, in the case of Andrew Marsh, his best receiver, he's a true freshman. He's just not coming on. And then Justice Haynes, he came out of nowhere. He emerged as a major threat, but he's now hurt. He's out for the season.
Yeah.
So you've had some things kind of help him, but you've seen him go through the ups and downs that you see true freshmen go through. I think people kind of compared him to Trevor Lawrence at Clemson, but Trevor Lawrence's situation was totally different. Trevor Lawrence stepped into a playoff team, a team that came off a college football playoff, so they returned a lot. He stepped into a scenario where he didn't start his first game until game 5. Remember, Kelly Bryant was a starter, and his skill position talent was Hunter Renfrow and T. Higgins and Travis Etienne, and he had all these big-time guys on a playoff team. That's not Bryce Underwood's reality. So you're going to have more ups and downs, more ebbs and flows. We saw that in this last game where he started off the game like gangbusters with like 200 yards passing in the first half.
Yeah.
And then midway through the third quarter, he throws his first interception of the game and third of the season, I think. And then all of a sudden, it kind of hits him and he reacts like a freshman and it kind of goes in the tank a little bit. Fortunately, he came back in the end and throws a big pass to put him back on track and they come back and win the game. But that's what happens with a freshman. I think you're going to see the kind of growth that you want to see over the course of the coming years. But really, you need him to show some growth here and bouncing back from mistakes over the rest of the season. If he does that, they can still realize the goals that they want to see the rest of this year.
Sam Webb joins us right now from Michigan Insider, and you're in November now, and I think that this is something that we talk about a lot on the station is what a team's identity is. And obviously with a true freshman coming in, you may think it's going to be one thing and then it has to turn into another one just to kind of survive. It's weird saying that when you're Michigan, you only have 2 losses, but what do you see this team's identity being with 2 weeks left in the regular season when somebody asks you, what do you expect from Michigan on a football field?
So they're still a hard-nosed smash mouth team. I question whether that was going to be the case with Chip Lindsey coming in and installing some of his principles. He's bringing in some RPO principles, some spread principles, some tempo principles. Were they going to be able to maintain that smash identity that they rode to a national championship? And I think they have. So they're going to they're going to pound you. They're going to run the football. They're going to play some physical, hard-nosed defense. I think that continues to be their foundation. However, they have become a pretty significant RPO team as well. Ran 20 RPOs last week against Northwestern. That was their bread and butter. It was lethal for the majority of the game until, like I said, Bryce went in the bag. So they are a smash team with an off-speed pitch, right? They need to get more consistent with their downfield passing game because they got to show that they can hit you over the top. They got to show some more consistency with that. They got to keep teams honest. They're going to have to do that show that a little bit against Maryland and definitely against Ohio State. But their identity is still, they're going to pound you, they're going to smash you, and they got to show that they're going to throw it a little bit in the passing game to keep you honest. They can do that. They can beat Ohio State if they prove they can do that.
Well, and coming down to the Ohio State game, we always know what Michigan-Ohio State's going to be. It's going to be two, most of the time, highly ranked football teams in games where, yes, it could decide which team goes to the Big Ten championship and which team's possibly left out of the college football playoff. But now with Michigan, we're having to look back a lot on their season because we're now into November where people go, wait a second, they lost to Oklahoma and USC. Isn't Oklahoma like one of the top teams in the country now? And isn't USC being talked about as a possible college football playoff team? How do you think the committee looks at Michigan now as compared to when they did lose to Oklahoma and did lose to USC?
Yeah, I think the committee probably, I think they look at Michigan probably with a bit of a jaundice eye. I think if you beat Ohio State, I think it's all. I think they put it in the context. They lost to Oklahoma early in the season. If you dig deeper into the USC game, you got to look at the dynamics. USC was coming off of a bye where they got embarrassed. Before that bye, they got embarrassed at Illinois. Illinois had gotten destroyed by Indiana. Everyone thought that USC was going to go in and just absolutely roll Illinois. And they instead got handled by the Illini. And so, they went into the lab and they were able to really dissect Michigan over the course of a bye. And Michigan went out there and they just completely were outcoached, outplayed, and could not find a rudder. It just completely out of sorts. So that was a game that if you played it again, I think every coach and every player on that team would tell you it'd be a different game. So if the committee really looked at it, I think that they would come to the same conclusion if Michigan beats Ohio State. So that's what if the committee looks at it, you frame the entire season different when you talk about beating Ohio State. So yes, I think they would look at the Oklahoma and USC losses through a different lens if you can beat the Buckeyes, which I'll say again. That game is a one-game season. We saw that last year. I think we'll see it again this year for Michigan. It's all about keeping the game close. If it's close heading into the fourth quarter, I think Michigan wins. If it's not, then of course Ohio State will win. That's what Ryan Day wants. He wants it a blowout heading into the fourth quarter because now he's comfortable. If it's close heading into the fourth quarter, well, we know how Ryan Day reacts to that.
It's when them demons start coming out. That's it right there. It's when them thoughts start creeping in then.
But for Michigan, of course, it's all in front of them. A win against Ohio State would definitely catch some eyes from the committee, and that's what makes it so intriguing. The Big Ten, of course, heavily represented in the postseason. But, of course, want to talk a little bit about the hardwood before we get you out of here, Sam. You look at this Michigan team in the second year right now behind Dusty May. And, last year ended with a loss to a really good Auburn basketball squad. But still, you can't be upset about a Sweet 16 appearance after a little bit of a down period from 2023 to 2024. Talk a little bit about what you're seeing from this Michigan team as they faced off in some close matchups against ACC and Big 12 opponents.
Yeah, I think Dusty May is excellent when it comes to roster construction, player and team development. And I think what you see is he's constructed another talented roster, and now he has to develop what this team's identity is going to be. Last year it was about the two big lineup. He's seeing if that's going to work with this year's unit. And early on, I think we've seen in these last couple of games that's kind of an experiment that you question a little bit more. I think a Diamara, the big 7-footer, 7'2" guy, was really good, for instance, in the game that they played, a couple of games ago, but not so much against TCU. Meanwhile, Yaxel Lindeborg was better against TCU. I think he's going to be Michigan's best player, but he's coming off a hand injury. They're 3 games in, and they're trying to see how all the pieces fit together. I think as they get deeper into the non-conference and then in the conference play, you're going to see this be a deeper Michigan team, a better shooting Michigan team, and ultimately, I think a team that's more capable of going into the final weekend of the college basketball season because they're just more talented. They're going to be a better defensive team as well. I think this is going to be a team that rivals Dusty May's team that he had down in Florida a couple of years ago.
Wow, that's going to be a lot of fun to see. And, of course, Michigan going to be facing off tomorrow night against Middle Tennessee. So a little bit of South and North connection right there before getting into the tough competition with San Diego State. And then from on November 25th, just a few days before Thanksgiving, having a little bit of a rematch against that Auburn squad led by a different Pearl, but it still should be a lot of fun. But Sam, let the people know, all of the Michigan and Big Ten fans around the North Alabama area, where they can find all of your work and keep up with the Wolverines all season long.
Yeah, well, you find me over on themichiganinsider.com on 24/7 Sports, of course, over on Twitter at SamWebb77, and weekdays over on the Michigan Insider on the Big 1050. That's 1050 AM in Ann Arbor, WTKA, and the Big1050.com.
Well, Sam, it's always great to get you on, brother. Enjoy your week. Hopefully Michigan can take care of business and make this a little bit more of an interesting playoff run, but going to be keeping an eye on that basketball team as well.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, sir. All right. When we come back, Samuel Webb of the Michigan Insider was our guest, but we have an opportunity for you to get on the phone lines right now. We have a trivia question for you to qualify for those Army-Navy tickets that we are giving you. Just the tickets. We give you the tickets.
I ain't sending you nowhere.
You figure out how to get there. That's all we're saying. Yep. So when we come back, be the first one to get in so that you can be our contestant today for our trivia question. We come back on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone, and The Blitz.
Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. This is The Blitz on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopé. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
But you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
The crimson and white jerseys.
Front court to the rack and the plunge.
The sound of a buzzer beater.
Got it to go as the buzzer sounds.
The Roll Tide chant from the crowd. It can only be Alabama basketball. Join the Alabama Crimson Tide right here on your home for Alabama basketball.
Listen to Alabama basketball all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Injured in a car accident? Get the help you need. I'm Morris Lilienthal, a personal injury lawyer right here in Huntsville. I've personally helped over 4,000 clients with their injury claims. My firm, Martinson & Beeson, has been helping clients for over 80 years, and we have received over 300 5-star Google reviews. We know that injuries and accidents can be life-changing, and I'm here to help you navigate the entire process. Get in touch with me right now by visiting morristheattorney.com. There's no charge for our meeting. Again, that's morristheattorney.com. I look forward to helping you.
No representation is made. The quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by the lawyer.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
All right, last segment, best segment, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone, and The Blitz. As you can get in and be our contestant at 256-577-977 as we wrap it up.
Y'all want to win some Army-Navy tickets? You're going to want to get in, all right? You want to get qualified? You want to get in, all right? And although that contest is courtesy of Joe Ross over at Higher Echelon, this final segment is always presented by the wonderful people over at Bobcat of Huntsville. Whether you need loaders, excavators, tractors, mowers, or anything else under the sun, they've got it for you. Just look them up online, bobcatofhuntsville.com, or you can call them at 256-895-3311. And Joe, I saw a picture of you from the Havoc game the other night. Was that real? Did you have like an extendo hawk going on right there?
No, that was Daniel who works for the Havoc and also works for UAH.
Okay,
and he has like a helmet or a mohawk effect.
Okay,
and so for the game, they gave it to the guy with the mohawk already. Don't hate it. I don't hate it.
Get red tips, Joe.
Well, if people remember, we talked about last year, if the Havoc had made it to the President's Cup, I was going to have a red mohawk for the Cup. Now, we also forget about this because of everything that kind of happened. We kind of block out that period of time because we thought the Havoc would go further.
Definitely looked like it.
My daughter was born like would have been around the exact same time as that. And so that means that she would have been born with me having a red mohawk. And I talked to my wife about that last night when she saw the picture, and she goes, yeah, you wouldn't have been in the family pictures. I said, no, I would have been in the family pictures.
Photoshop them.
She goes, yeah, and we would have Photoshopped. I said, exactly, Photoshop it brown. And she goes, no, Photoshop you out. I'm like, dang, woman.
She's not a fan. She's not a fan of you getting your hair dyed.
She's not a fan of the Hawk anyway.
No, come on.
Yeah.
If UAH goes on to beat Nova later on in the season, gotta get them blue. If we see the Havoc go far and maybe even get to the championship game, then you got to get a red. It carries over from year to year.
I will proudly do that.
I
will absolutely rock that thing.
Yeah.
Whichever one makes it to the championship, I will gladly rock it while I'm doing that game.
Yeah, and if UAH ever beats Nova, then of course our Steve Moulton, who just came in here, he'd have to dye his hair blue.
I just want to fire you for that, for just saying if they ever beat Nova. Well, if Nova ever has the cojones to actually. Yeah, no.
2010, we beat Nova.
By the way, Moulton, where did that game take place?
UAH.
Oh,
let's go.
Where Nova hasn't been in 15 years.
They'll be there next fall.
Yeah. Now we can see about this.
All right. Well, now the blue hair is more of a possibility.
Neutral site games in Nova. Bull crap.
2,800 people in there.
Yeah.
That ain't neutral.
Never.
No.
Me sitting next to the Nova president. That ain't neutral.
No. I will tell
Moon heckling me. That ain't neutral.
Truth be told, the one thing I did like about Nova that I talked to somebody about at UAH yesterday was the tiki bar.
The wine bar?
The wine tiki bar. I did talk to them about that yesterday.
They dressed it up a little bit better.
First off, they got alcohol at those games?
They do in Nova.
I knew. Nova. Yeah.
Not at UAH yet. But it is. But we did talk about it. I was like, look, if we can move those bleachers back to the wall.
You do like a little microbrewery thing.
Exactly. We could dress up the side that's away from the camera.
Yeah.
As the tiki bar, food area, all that.
I was about to say, we don't want to make them feel at home when they come over here next fall.
Screw them. I'm talking about period.
No.
And then the other side be the side where everybody really sits up top.
Oh.
And so it would really help it. I did pitch that yesterday, just FYI.
Very fun.
Also, Auburn is on the field right now practicing. Deuce Knight is in with the ones to start practice.
There you go. It's going to be a lot of fun. Got a lot of football coming up this weekend. Got a lot of conversations coming up throughout the week. But look forward to Kentucky face off against Michigan tonight, followed by Kansas State and Duke. And, of course, all on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Next time, me and Joe will see you. The Havoc Hour live here on WZZN TV.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway, Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those